General or impractical maintenance forms and records. What records must be made of a 100-hour inspection before the aircraft is approved for return to service? An entry must be made in the aircraft maintenance records that describes the type, the extent, and the date of the inspection, the aircraft total time in service, and the signature, the certificate type, and the number of the person approving or disapproving the aircraft for return to service. What record must be made of the compliance of an airworthiness directive? An entry must be made in the aircraft maintenance record stating that the AD Airworthiness Directive has been complied with. This entry must include the AD number, revision date, the date of compliance, and the total aircraft time in service, the method of compliance, and whether or not this is a recurring AD. If it is a recurring AD, the time of next compliance must be noted. Where can you find an example of the correct type of write-up to use for recording a 100-hour inspection in the aircraft maintenance records? 14 CFR 43.11. 4311. What action must a mechanic take if the aircraft he is inspecting on a 100-hour inspection fails because of an airworthy component? The aircraft maintenance records must indicate that the aircraft has been inspected and found to be in an unworthy condition because of a certain discrepancies. A signed and dated list of discrepancies must be given to the owner or lessee of the aircraft. What record must be made of a major repair to an aircraft structure? FAA Form 337 must be completed for the repair, and a record must be made in the aircraft maintenance records referring to the Form 337 by its date. How many copies must be made of Form 337 after a major airframe repair? What is the disposition of each copy? At least 2 copies must be made. The original signed form goes to the aircraft owner, and a copy goes to the FAA district office. Who is authorized to perform a 100-hour inspection on an aircraft? A certified mechanic who holds an airframe and power plant rating. Who is authorized to perform an annual inspection on an aircraft? Certificated A&P mechanic who holds an inspection authorization. For how long must the record of a 100-hour inspection be kept? For 1 year or until the next 100-hour inspection is completed. Can a certified A&P mechanic serve as an unlicensed person as the unlicensed persons perform a 100-hour inspection on an aircraft? No. A certified mechanic must personally perform the inspection. Where can you find a list of basic items that must be inspected on a 100-hour inspection. 14 CFR Part 43 Appendix D. CFR Part 43 Appendix D. What is done with the aircraft maintenance records that include the current status of the applicable airworthiness directives when the aircraft is sold? The maintenance records must be transferred with the aircraft when it is sold. What is meant by progressive inspection? An inspection that is approved by the FAA, FSDO, in which an aircraft is inspected according to an approved schedule. This schedule allows complete inspection to be conducted over a period of time without having to keep the aircraft out of service as long as would be necessary to perform the entire inspection at one time. Which FAR specifics require maintenance records? Which FAR specifics require maintenance records? 14 CFR 91417 specifies you must keep records of maintenance, preventive maintenance, major repairs, and alterations, and 100-hour annual and progressive inspections. 14 CFR 91.417 specifies that you must keep all those records. What minimum information must be contained in a maintenance record? All maintenance entries at a minimum must include the description of the work performed, references to data acceptable to the administrator, the date the work was completed, the name and the certificate number of the person performing the work, and if different, the signature and certificate number of the person approving the aircraft for return to service. How long must major repair or alteration records be kept? All copy of Forms 337 must be kept for the life of the aircraft. Copy of all Form 337s must be kept for the life of the aircraft. What is meant by permanent maintenance records? Permanent maintenance records are kept for the life of the aircraft and are transferred when a change of ownership occurs. Permanent records include total time in service of airframe, engines, propellers, rotors, the status life limited parts, time since overhaul on items with specified time limits, current inspection status, current AD status including AD numbers, revision dates, recurrence dates, and methods of a compliance, and copied of any Form 337. What is a malfunction and defect report? Malfunction and defect reports are Form 8010-4 are voluntary reporting mechanisms to report unusual problems or weakness not associated with expected wear. What is the definition of time in service with respect to maintenance time records? Time in service means the time from the moment an aircraft leaves the surface of the earth until it touches it at the next point of landing. Time in service with respect to maintenance time records means the time from the moment an aircraft leaves the surface of the earth until it touches at the next point of landing. What are the required entries in a new maintenance record for an engine that has been rebuilt and granted zero time by the manufacturer or by an agency approved by the manufacturer? The manufacturer or agencies that grants zero time to rebuild engine must enter into the maintenance records a signed statement of the date the engine was rebuilt. Each change made is required by airworthiness directives, and each change made in compliance with the manufacturer's service bulletins, if any entry requested in a bulletin. What is an AD summary? A regulatory note is sent by the FAA to inform an aircraft owner of conditions that will keep his aircraft unworthy. What are AD frequencies? Updates that are issued every 2 weeks.